This is home. Twin States News starts right now.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Ann Emanuel. Meridian police are working multiple cases after a violent 48 hours in the city. In the first case, a woman is under arrest for murder. Around 7 a.m. Monday morning, MPD received a call saying a black male was unconscious. Officers arrived in the 1800 block of 24th Street and found a man covered in blood. They identified the victim as 65-year-old Billy Mitchell. Pretoria Holt has been charged with the murder of Mitchell after surrendering to police. Her bond is set at $1 million. The Meridian Police Department is investigating another death, the discovery of a deceased man who was found shot twice at 17th Street and 26th Avenue. Coroner Clayton Cobbler tells Twin States News that people initially thought he was inebriated and that the shooting appears to have happened yesterday. You can call Crime Stoppers at 855-485-8477 if you have any additional information. Another man was injured in a shooting Monday but is expected to recover. MPD reports that around 3 a.m. a black male was shot but did not have any life-threatening injuries. MPD tells Twin States News that the shooting took place in the 2700 block of 29th Avenue. You can contact the Meridian Police Department at 601-842-7072 if you have any information about this incident. It is voting day in Meridian, and residents of Lauderdale are casting their vote for a bond on a CTE Center special project. Our reporter Jacobus Roby talks to members of the community to find out their thoughts about this special election.
Residents made their way out to schools in Lauderdale County to vote on a $12.5 million bond issue proposed for a career and technical education center for the district.
The CTE building would be a wonderful thing for our young people.
I think the high schools need a center like that.
While they agreed the center would benefit the students, residents Anita and Marcus Quinley expressed their concerns on the $12.5 million bond.
With the economy the way it is, our money is tight already, and this is going to tie us into 20 years of paying this back.
We don't need to spend that kind of money on a center.
Resident Griffin Parker also disapproves of the budget and emphasizes what he feels should be done if the project does not come to pass.
I have several problems with it. First off, I feel like taxation is stiff. Second off, I don't like the way they went about doing it. They could have put it on the election coming up in another month. And I think that the board members that voted for it and the superintendent ought to be held liable for it and have to pay back the money if it doesn't pass.
Many people came out to cast their vote and had their voices heard to impact the community and its students. In Meridian, Jacobus Roby, Twin States News.
We will have results from the vote tomorrow right here on Twin States News. The gas leak in downtown Meridian that caused City Hall to close early yesterday afternoon has been resolved. According to Public Works Director David Hodge, the gas main line was hit during construction of a downtown Meridian project Monday afternoon. Crewmen from Atmos Energy shut off the leak and replaced the damaged section. The incident happened around 2:30 p.m. on 23rd Avenue between 6th and 7th Streets. The leak has been repaired and City Hall returned to normal operations earlier today. The Meridian Public School District Foundation has officially partnered with the Mississippi Power and United Way to help the school district better prepare for an emergency. The foundation gave 6 new defibrillators to Meridian Public School District after they were donated by Mississippi Power. And United Way of East Mississippi donated a $1,500 check to improve education for local students. The foundation's president, Neil Henry, tells Twin States News that the funds will go toward helping promote and improve literacy through their Imagination Library program. Meridian's Street Division tells Twin States News that North Hill Street will be closed this Thursday, October 5th, from Highway 19 to River Birch Drive. This closure is expected to last from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Please be sure to plan an alternate route to avoid any traffic delays. History made as the House votes to remove the GOP leader in Congress. Now, this was a motion forced by rebel Republicans who were outraged that House Speaker Kevin McCarthy made a deal with Democrats to avoid a government shutdown. Rebecca Castor has the latest from Washington.
In a Republican rumble on Capitol Hill between a far-right Florida congressman and the House leader of the GOP, Congressman Matt Gaetz successfully led the effort to strip Speaker Kevin McCarthy of his gavel.
Kevin McCarthy is chaos. I think $33 trillion in debt is chaos. I think that facing a $2.2 trillion annual deficit is chaos.
The ousting comes after McCarthy relied on Democrats to pass a funding bill to keep the government running, a position he was in after his own party failed to come together on a Republican version.
At the end of the day, keeping government open and paying our troops was the right decision. I stand by that decision. And at the end of the day, if I have to lose my job over it, so be it.
House Democrats were strongly encouraged to vote against McCarthy.
The Republicans are in the middle of a civil war that is causing chaos, dysfunction, and extremism.
This is the mess he's created for himself, and he has to figure out how to clean it up.
And with more than 5 Republicans voting with the other side, the speakership is now open.
The real problems of real Americans will get ignored for weeks while D.C. politicians play middle school games about terrible personal grudges. Matt Gaetz needs to quit being a chaos agent.
The U.S. House has never successfully voted to remove a speaker, and the only other time a vote like this was held was in 1910. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Former President Trump was back in court for day 2 of his civil fraud trial. Kevin Uretsky has more on the court proceedings.
This case is a scam. It's day 2 of former President Trump's fraud trial in New York, and Mr. Trump was once again back in court. Trump, his business organization, and his 2 sons are all accused of inflating the company's net worth, deceiving banks to get better loans and insurance policies. But Trump's legal team says the financial documents submitted to the banks included a disclaimer stating the information shouldn't be trusted. During a court recess, the former president maintained he did nothing wrong and believes the trial is going well.
There can't be fraud when you've told institutions to do their own work.
But Trump suffered a legal setback on Tuesday, the judge clarifying that financial documents from 2011 can be used as evidence, after suggesting on Monday that the statute of limitations had run out, which Trump claimed as a win.
The statute of limitations is a very real thing in this country, and that would be about 80% of this case would be over.
The judge now says the statute of limitations bars claims, not evidence. He'll be allowing both sides to connect older evidence to claims in the lawsuit.
The judge made this preliminary finding, fraud happened. And now this trial is going to be about whether or not the fraud was perpetrated with the intention to commit a fraud.
Trump's civil fraud trial is expected to last until December. A judge, not a jury, will determine if he should be banned from doing business in New York and how much he should pay in potential penalties. In New York, Kevin Uretsky, Fox News.
Also today, the judge in Donald Trump's civil fraud trial has issued a limited gag order in the case. Judge Arthur Engoron admonished Trump after the former president attacked one of his law clerks on social media. He ordered Trump to remove the post and issued a gag order forbidding all parties from publicly discussing members of his staff. He also said that violations of his order would lead to swift, meaningful sanctions. The social media post that triggered the gag order has been removed. Hunter Biden enters a plea in court after a deal with prosecutors collapsed. It is the latest in an ongoing legal battle between the president's son and the feds. Madeline Rivera has more from Wilmington, Delaware.
Months after his plea deal collapsed, Hunter Biden, the son of President Biden, returns to court to face federal charges. Hunter Biden pleading not guilty in federal court on Tuesday to 3 felony counts related to a gun purchase from 2018. He's been charged with lying about his drug use on a form to buy the weapon, lying to an employee at the gun shop, and then illegally possessing the gun. In July, his attorneys indicated he was ready to plead guilty in exchange for a deal that involved probation and participation in a pretrial diversion program. Republicans called it a sweetheart deal, and a judge ultimately rejected the agreement. Special counsel David Weiss says the deal is null and void, though Hunter's attorney believes it's valid.
Once you basically have a deal like this collapse in court and you break off any agreement with the Department of Justice, they tend to go at you full bore.
Some Republicans have accused Weiss of moving slowly on the case, suggesting he's operating with interference from the White House. Attorney General Merrick Garland says that's not the case.
David Weiss is a long-standing career prosecutor, and he was appointed by Mr. Trump as the United States Attorney for the District of Delaware. I promised at my nomination hearing that I would continue him on in that position.
Hunter Biden faces up to 25 years in prison if convicted on all counts, but that's unlikely given no prior felonies. In Wilmington, Delaware, Mather Rivera, Fox News.
On Wall Street, the Dow had its worst day since March and is now negative for the year. Stocks tumbling Tuesday as Treasury yields climbed to fresh multi-year highs, and after data showed the labor market remains tight, leaving room for more interest rate hikes. Job openings unexpectedly rose in August. U.S. employers posted 9.6 million job openings during the month. As for stocks, the Dow fell 431 points. The S&P fell 59, and the Nasdaq gave up 248 points. Your forecast is coming up next. Plus,
a historic decision could alter the future of the Catholic Church. I'm Jackie Ibanez with a look at the upcoming meeting giving women a voice in the Vatican. That's all straight ahead.